This is about the eligibility criteria that you have to fulfill to be considered as a valid proposal. It's not the quality here, it's more the form and what you need to put in your application to be considered as valid application going to evaluation. So the consortium should, so rule number one, or eligibility criterion number one, the consortium should include at least 2 companies from different Eureka participating countries. This is the at least, this is the written rule, but the comfortable rule and better rule also, but is more or less applied, in fact, by the experts and the office and the public authorities, is that it is better to have 3, as I was explaining earlier, so that you have the resilience in case one of the countries does not match the funding. The participation of research institute universities is welcome according to each country's funding regulations. There are countries where universities are not funded directly by the funding agency, but they can be funded if they are subcontracted by a company. Same for research institutes. So there are cases like that. So please consider that and always ask the public authorities what are the rules in the country so that you know how to present your proposal. The consortium should include at least 1 industrial partner from each of the countries represented in the project. Industrial partner means companies of all sizes, from SMEs to large companies. The project partners must express their willingness to cooperate on a win-win fair basis in the development of a new project, industrial process, industry standard, or service. Meaning that in the proposal, we should not detect a partner that is there just to get funding and is doing nothing in the project and is collaborating with no one in the project. So it has to be clear willingness of cooperation. That's all the purpose of a CELTIC-NEXT project. It is cooperation on innovation. So we should see it. The product, process, or service must be innovative, and there must be a technological risk involved. In patent law and so on, we speak about innovation step, or so, for example, if it's just an incremental change, just a little development, it's not that interesting. It should be financed in another way. Public money is there to help companies balance the financial risk of doing something new. So, because just developing the next version of something that is not having any risk is not supported by public authorities, because it would be a direct intervention in commercial, and this is not allowed by European rules and most of the countries' rules for state aid. So this is why we will be very careful about that, and our experts are reviewing the process, the consortium composition, the role of each of the partners, and so on. And if we detect that someone is not doing anything in the cooperation, or the role is not clear, or there's no risk, and so on. I mean, risk is something that is measurable. We are not asking people to risk everything. We are just asking that there's the need of public money to balance a certain technological risk. So the project should benefit all involved partners in a well-balanced consortium. That means we will refuse any project where one partner has more than 70% of the budget or the effort. This is also a rule valid for countries. No country should support more than 70% of the budget and or the effort in a project, in the CELTIC project. And that's a rule also at Eureka level. So that means that you might have even a project where there are 3 countries, there are 3 partners, but a partner per country. But for example, 2 partners out of the three are in fact in existing relationship, meaning, for example, if I would take a big name, Nokia or Ericsson, you have Ericsson Germany and Ericsson France that apply together with a third company. In Spain, for example, if Ericsson France and Ericsson Germany together make more than 70% of the total budget, it's not acceptable. So if it's in one country as well, not acceptable. So not more than 70% in budget or in effort for any partner in any country or at country level. And finally, there must be a clear value for each partner. Everyone should win something in doing this project. That means you cannot just have someone who gets all the benefits and the other ones are just delivering to this one. So everyone should have a profit in terms of technology, advancement of their roadmaps and markets. The project should generate, the project should generate an obvious advantage and added value resulting from the technical cooperation between the participants, new technology, standardization, prototyping, field trials, new and or improved products, increased knowledge, access to R&D infrastructure, etc. So we want to see at each partner level, we want to see at country level, and we want to see at consortium level. But there's a cooperation between the cooperation and the participants and delivering an obvious advantage and added value. The economic and societal benefits to be obtained when, where, and relevant must be highlighted in the project proposal. So not only technology and market, so technology, but market with economic, but also societal benefits should be described. What will it bring to the society? Because very often public money, public investment, public funding at national level as a component of value return for the population, not only for the business or the GDP of the country. So you have to describe what impact it has on the society, even if it's a kind of two steps impact, you have to describe it. A project consortium or cooperation agreement must be signed between the project partners as soon as possible after the project starts. So we have templates for project consortium agreement. So it's not possible to get funded and run without a consortium agreement where it is described how the partners collaborate, what about IPR and so on. So you have to have that signed before you can start. So you have to keep it in mind when you are preparing the proposal, but you will have to sign this consortium agreement. So any organization whose collaborative industrial ICT RD&I project is consistent with the above criteria can apply to CELTIC calls. The funding could be provided by each national funding agency after receipt of the quality label in accordance with their national participation procedures and subject to budgetary availability. Before submitting your proposal, please check. Have you completed all required chapters in the project proposal template, so-called CPP, CELTIC Full Project Proposal? That's important. I have unfortunately had to declare not valid proposals because they were not following our template. They were just a kind of recycled proposal from another call in another organization, or just a description, high-level description, and sometimes even a company brochure. So please don't apply with that. Apply by fulfilling the project proposal template CPP. And back to the question I answered before, it doesn't need to be 120 pages. It has to provide sufficient information. So it's up to you to understand how you best explain to our experts and the experts from the public authorities what you want to do and why you should be funded. So You have all the sections in the document to do that. Now it's up to you to find the right balance between your ambition you want to expose and the work you want to place into the proposal. And make sure that it is sufficient information there so that our public authorities experts and our experts at the CELTIC office level can evaluate your proposal in the right way. So being able to tick all the boxes about, okay, technology differentiation, market impact, societal impact, and so on. So, and I will come back to those tick boxes. Confirmation letters signed. So have you contacted all involved public authorities and followed their advice regarding national funding application? Very important. Confirmation letter signed by all partners should be submitted to office at CELTIC-NEXT.eu, and you can send it 4 weeks after the call deadline. So the CLDs, confirmation letters documents, they are your contract with CELTIC-NEXT. That means that you will fulfill the conditions of the call and the running of the projects. It includes also the fees that are based on the budget that you are putting in the project, which are paying the office. We are not financed by the public authorities. We are not financed by the co-op. We are only financed by a fee of 1.5% of the budget of the project. So it's also our target that you are successful, because if we don't get any project, we close the office. Okay, so this is a clear point. I want to make it clear, because I don't want to have discussions with people who come back and say, why should we pay the CELTIC fees? CELTIC fees are there to organize the office, organize the calls, have all the administration based on this, provide the tools, because we are providing tools to you for the execution of the project, not only the call level, but during the execution, and we are providing coaching. So this has to be, of course, sustained by input. Call-related documents and forms can be found under the link, but they are clearly visible in the website. The proposals made have the possibility to be defined bottom-up without the need to follow defined program objectives. However, they must cover ICT-related research areas, as I explained in length before.